Oscar guy here. So the Critics' Choice Awards are tomorrow night, and I am here to make my predictions for who I think will win each category. Let's just get started, man. And by the way, I will be doing a live stream of the Critics' Choice ceremony. I'm not going to stream the ceremony itself, but I'm just going to live stream my reactions and commentary to what the winners are going to be. So that's going to be tomorrow night. I'm pretty excited. It's going to be my first live stream experience ever on this channel. So hopefully everything goes good. Hope to see you there. Anyway, let's make our predictions. Best score. Okay, here we go. So let's talk about it. I really think Justin Hurwitz has this in the bag. Probably a 90 to 95% chance he's going to win this one. Michael Giacchino is possible. That's a possible upset. Of course, that hasn't been shortlisted for the Oscars, but it's been getting a lot of critics' love. I want to say it's tied for most critics' wins between Giacchino and Hurwitz. So that is potentially an upset. I have not heard the score that much, but from what I've heard from other people saying it's an amazing score. Probably the biggest snub in the shortlist. Oh, wow. Whoops.
Why you gone with the low cut back? We're gonna fall in shit attack.
So we are going to go ahead with Justin Hurwitz for Babylon for best score. If I was bold enough, I would even predict that. But I mean, it's probably going to be Justin Hurwitz. It's probably going to be Justin Hurwitz. So moving on from that is best song. So Not To just won the Globe. RRR is got a lot of Critics' Choice nominations, and it's most likely going to win International Film. I just don't know a lot about these other songs, really. I really don't know how popular and how impactful the other songs are, like Lift Me Up, Hold My Hand, Carolina. Ciao Papa, it's probably not going to win. I do love that song, but it just hasn't really been winning really anything. Same thing with New Body Roomba. New Body Roomba was, I believe, snubbed at the Globes, so this is their 6th pick here, so it's unlikely that will win. I mean, honest, I freaking love that song so much. I really wish it had a shot. I don't think it does have a shot. If it wins, I will be jumping up and down tomorrow night. But I'm just gonna go ahead with Not To, because RRR has just been getting so much love, especially from the critics circles and the Critics' Choice. So I really don't see it going to anybody else as of now. So that's what I'm going to pick. Not To from RRR. Foreign language film. This has to be RRR. It just has to win. We all know what happened at the Golden Globes. Probably the biggest surprise of the night was when Argentina 1985 won. Wow. It was literally like number 5 and number 4 on pretty much every critic's list. It was just not winning anything, and the Golden Globes just decided to throw a monkey wrench in there and give it that. It's unlikely that will happen here. I really don't see anything else winning. All Quiet, I don't know. It hasn't been getting as much love as RRR from the Critics' Choice. Same thing with Decision to Leave. So that's that. So RRR has to be taking this one. If it's anything else, I'd be pretty surprised. So that's that. Animated feature. I'm going to go with Pinocchio here. Pinocchio has been pretty much dominating this category. I will say a possible upset is Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. That's been getting a lot of critics' love as well. That, I think, is a runner-up for most precursor wins right now. Critics' Choice, they sometimes go with an alternate pick. Look at last year. They gave it to Mitchells vs. the Machines instead of Encanto, which is the right decision, in my opinion. That movie is amazing. So they might do the same thing here. They might give it to Marcel. Again, if I was bold enough, this is my first time doing predictions like these pretty much ever. So if I was bold enough, I would go with Marcel. But since Pinocchio is just more popular and just more loved by general audience members, it's just been getting more love. And Marcel is definitely like the underdog pick that is also pretty critically acclaimed. I don't know, man. I'm just going to say Pinocchio. That's very likely, but a Marcel upset is possible. It's not impossible. It very may well happen. Best comedy. This one is so up in the air every year. So the Critics' Choice usually don't give best comedy to whatever the best picture pick or the best picture frontrunner is. In this case, Everything Everywhere, or even Banshees. They might go with something like Glass Onion or Triangle of Sadness. I doubt Bros or Unbearable Weight will pull this off. If either of those two win, I would be pretty surprised. Oh, and then Banshees is a comedy, yes, but it's also a tragic comedy. It's a very dark comedy. It's not like the typical comedies that Critics' Choice give, this award to. So I doubt that would win. And like I said, Everything Everywhere is most likely going to be winning Best Picture here. And that's the front runner. So I doubt they're going to be giving it that. So it's either going to be one of these two. It's going to be either Glass Onion or Triangle of Sadness. Okay, so Glass Onion has 6 nominations, and and then Triangle of Sadness has 1 nomination. This is the only nomination from Critics' Choice. I'm going to go with Glass Onion. I have to. I mean, if they give it to Triangle of Sadness over that, I'd be very surprised. I would be tickled pink for sure. I haven't seen Triangle of Sadness, but I hear it's definitely an underdog. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Glass Onion. Triangle of Sadness could be a surprise upset, but it's really between those two, and between those two, I'm just gonna have to say Glass Onion. Visual effects. This is absolutely 100% going to Avatar: The Way of Water. Absolutely 100% going to Avatar. I mean, it's got to be Avatar. 100%. It's got to be Avatar. Any questions? No. Moving on. Great. Best hair and makeup. This one's kind of up in the air. I mean, the Whale was kind of a front runner, kind of in the early season. This one's tough because I don't know what the Critics' Choice usually do when it comes to the makeup category in comparison to, say, the Oscars or any other makeup guilds. I just don't know. I just don't know. I think really it's between Elvis and the Whale. Babylon's makeup's pretty strong. The Batman, of course, with Colin Farrell's Penguin makeup is pretty strong. I guess Black Panther would be pretty strong. Really, it's between Elvis and the Whale. I'm gonna have to say the Whale. Because of Brendan Fraser's prosthetics. It's pretty amazing what they did. And I know that Elvis probably has more makeup going on with Austin Butler and all the other characters. It's more showy, more flashy, but the Whale is more just impressive in just in the sense of that singular kind of focus that they had. I don't know. My heart is telling me the Whale. It's between those two, but I'm just going to go with the Whale. Best costume design. I think Babylon might be on top. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is probably the number 2, maybe even Elvis is number 2. Okay, so from what it looks like, Elvis is on top right now. Babylon really hasn't won anything as far as costume design, so I will eat my words right now. It's really, I think it's between Elvis and Black Panther. My heart tells me Elvis. So we're going to go with Elvis. Black Panther upset is very likely, but my heart is telling me Elvis, so that's that. Best editing. Okay, so this one's really interesting because there are some Best Picture frontrunners that were snubbed here. Everything Everywhere is really the only Best Picture frontrunner that is even here. Banshees is not here. And The Fabelmans is not here. It's gotta be Everything Everywhere. I mean, I'm not an expert on the Critics' Choice and what their picks have historically been recently and in the past. So I want to say they usually give editing to Best Picture frontrunners or the Best Picture winners. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Everything Everywhere here. It's a very deserving win. The editing in that movie is so creative and inventive, and it carries the movie. If the editing wasn't as strong as it is, the movie simply just would not work as well as it does. It's everything. So it's got to be everything everywhere. If it's anything else, I'd be a little surprised. Like Elvis, it's possible. That's a possible upset. Top Gun Maverick is a possible upset. That's been winning some editing awards from what I know, from what I remember. But for now, I'm gonna say Everything Everywhere just because the editing is very strong, and it's the Best Picture frontrunner. So, what else do you want from me? What else do you want from me? That's my pick. So moving on from that is production design. Production design. So it's between three for me. It's between three. It's between Everything Everywhere, Black Panther, and Babylon. Babylon's production design is very strong, and then Everything Everywhere's production design is more like low key, I guess. It's not as like showy. It's just there's a lot of like different unique sets that are in little small pieces in that movie. You know, apart from, I mean, they're literally in the IRS building for most of it, and then it goes to other universes, which has very unique production design, like the one with the one place with the everything bagel in it. That set is pretty cool. There's some other sets that are pretty unique, like the Hot Dog Fingers apartment. Um, I don't know. It's not as strong as some of these other categories. So even though that's the Best Picture frontrunner, I doubt it's going to win here. So it's really between Black Panther and Babylon. I have not seen Black Panther, but from the sets that I have seen, it is very impressive. And I want to say the first one won production design. I am not sure. I'm going to look that up right now. Black Panther won the Oscar for production design, the original one. And then let's go to Critics' Choice. Oh my God, it was nominated for so many Critics' Choice Awards, the first one. It was previously known as Art Direction, but now it's Production Design. So it won both the Critics' Choice and the Oscar for Production Design. I don't know how strong the production design is in comparison to the first one, you know, in Wakanda Forever. And then looking at the precursors, Babylon is on top. They have won the most critics, the most, precursor awards. So it's really coming down to the wire between Black Panther and Babylon. Black Panther has the historic wins and the strength and everything, and more of a narrative there. Babylon is kind of a one-off that's just been getting more recognition this year. So it's between those two. It's between those two. But my heart is telling me Babylon, and that is not just bias because I love that movie. I mean, it's just been performing the most. It's been performing the best out of all these categories. Black Panther, possible upset. But in my heart is telling me Babylon. So that's my pick there. Cinematography. This is going to Claudio Miranda for Top Gun Maverick. No question about it. Top Gun has been absolutely sweeping the cinematography game as of now. They've just been killing it. They've been absolutely killing it with the cinematography. If it goes to anything else, I would be very, very surprised. Again, great to see the Tar shout out here. Love the cinematography in that movie. Deakins is strong, but Empire of Light is kind of one of his lesser works, from what I've heard. Avatar cinematography is very strong. The Fableman cinematography is like okay. I mean, it's nothing to write home about. And then I love Babylon cinematography. I mean, that would be my personal pick, even over Tar. Like Tar cinematography is great, but Babylon cinematography, it's on another level for my money. It's got to be Top Gun here. It's got to be Top Gun. If it's anything else, it'd be a shock. So that is going to be my pick there. Now we're above the line. Here we go. Adapted screenplay. Okay, so Women Talking is kind of dominating this category. Glass Onion has also been doing pretty well, so that's very possible. And The Whale has been doing better in the later season as well. So this one's tough. I'd be surprised if it went to either Living or She Said. Oh, Women Talking is nominated for picture. Ooh, okay, so that bumps it up. And then The Whale is not. So Yeah, honestly, I would have to go with Women Talking here. It's just been performing the best. The Whale, I don't know, man. Possible upset. Glass Onion, possible upset, but it's most likely going to go to Women Talking here. Original screenplay. This one is probably going to go to Banshees. Has been really, really doing good with original screenplay. Um, I don't know. I doubt that Everything Everywhere will win this one, even though it's the Best Picture frontrunner. I don't know. But Fableman's unlikely. Tar, unlikely. That would be awesome. Love that screenplay. After Sun, unlikely. I need to see After Sun. Still, the two most likely ones are Banshees and Everything Everywhere, but Banshees have they've just been dominating for the screenplay category and won the Golden Globe. Let's see how many precursor wins it has. Oh wow, it is neck and neck actually. Banshees and Everything Everywhere are pretty much neck and neck when it comes to precursor wins for original screenplay. So, I don't know, man. I don't know how much weight the Golden Globe screenplay really has in the grand scheme of things. And since Banshees has that, they're literally like tied. Other than the Golden Globes screenplay win, Banshees and Everything Everywhere are literally tied for precursor wins for original screenplay. So this is tough. This is really, really tough. It really is between these two. It really is between these two, and I can't pick both of them. So, I mean, Everything Everywhere got 15 frickin' nominations. I've been playing it safe for pretty much this whole thing. So, I'm just going to go out on a whim and say Everything Everywhere takes this. Just because it's going to win picture and it has so many nominations, it has so much love from critics. I think this is where it will kind of veer off. It might happen. Again, if Banshees wins, great, wonderful. I actually like that screenplay more, personally. But bias is out the window here. This is just what I think will win. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Everything Everywhere. I mean, it's neck and neck, and since the weight is more on Everything Everywhere side when it comes to the Critics' Choice, that might be winning here. So I'm gonna predict Everything Everywhere. So we'll see what happens. Director. Now, director is dude, 10 freaking nominations for director. Unbelievable. Love to see Chazelle in here. He hasn't really been getting a lot of precursors. His director nom is very well deserved, in my opinion. It's a very well directed movie. Cameron. We got Todd Field, of course. And we got Baz Luhrmann, Daniels, McDonough, Polly, By the Wood, Rajamouli, and Steven Spielberg. Okay, now, the Daniels have been doing incredibly well with critics groups. And Steven Spielberg won the Golden Globe last weekend. But really, all Steven Spielberg has won is NBR, and he has the Golden Globe. That's it. The Daniels have 25 precursor wins in critics groups. That is insane. They are way in the lead. The directors under them are Todd Field and Charlotte Wells. Charlotte Wells is not even here. And Todd Field has 4 precursor wins. It's got to be Daniels. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't it be Daniels? I mean, it's most likely going to win Best Picture. Why wouldn't it be the Daniels? Literally, why wouldn't it be the Daniels? Honestly, why wouldn't it be the Daniels? I really don't. I don't see this going anywhere else. Unless like Banshees pulls an upset and wins Best Picture over Everything Everywhere, and then McDonough gets Best Director, but I really doubt that will happen. That would be an insane upset. Moving on from there, I believe is acting ensemble. Ooh, okay. So from what I have heard, the Critics' Choice tend to pick ensembles that differ from what the SAG Ensemble picks. The SAG Ensemble nominees were Babylon, Banshees, Everything Everywhere, Women Talking, and what else am I missing? Fablemans. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4 of those are here. Babylon is missing. In place of Babylon is Glass Onion and Woman King. I don't know what they'll do here. I honestly do not know what the hell they will do here. I'm actually at a loss here. It could be Women Talking, or maybe even Glass Onion. I really don't know. What are other people saying? I don't know. Let's just look at the Critics' Choice Awards history. Last year's Ensemble went to Belfast. The SAG Ensemble went to Coda, which was not even nominated for Ensemble at Critics' Choice. Previous year went to Trial of Chicago 7. We're deep diving here because I need to do some research here. This is live. We're live. We're doing live research here to Trial of Chicago 7. So those match up. The year before that at Critics' Choice, they picked The Irishman. At SAG, they picked Parasite. Critics' Choice the previous year, that's just 2018, they picked The Favorite. And SAG in 2018 picked Black Panther, and The Favorite wasn't even nominated. 2017, Ensemble at Critics' Choice went to 3 Billboards. SAG, 3 Billboards. This doesn't really help me. This honestly doesn't really help me. Everything Everywhere is the frontrunner for Best Picture. They both have a ton of acting noms. Ugh, this is tough. This is tough, man. This is tough. Okay, well, I'm just going to pick. My heart is telling me Banshees. I can't really tell you why, but that's just what my heart is telling me. It's literally between Banshees and Everything Everywhere. It could be either of them. It could be even something else. I don't even know. So this is tough, but I'm gonna go with Banshees just because I don't have a reason. That's what I think. I think it's just been performing very well. That's what I'm picking. I can't really think on it and ponder on it too terribly much more. So we're just gonna have to move on. We're just gonna move on. Young actor, actress. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Gabriel LaBelle here. For the Fablemans, he's been doing pretty good, I think. And then Frankie Corio could be an upset as well. If anything else wins, I'd be very surprised. But I think Gabriel LaBelle has the strongest shot. Look at last year. They picked Jude Hill in Belfast over Woody Norman and Come On, Come On. And Woody Norman and Come On, Come On is kind of this year's Frankie Corio and Aftersun. And Gabriel LaBelle is this year's Jude Hill. So I'm kind of looking at it from that angle. I just think Gabriel LaBelle's performance is more widely recognized by like the wider audience. More of the Indian critics audience might be more into Frankie Corio. I'm going to say Gabriel LaBelle. Frankie Corio, possible upset. Unlikely, but we're going to go with LaBelle. And much deserved. He's my favorite performance in The Fablemans. For my money, he's the best performance in that movie. Anyway, moving on from there is supporting actress. We got an advertisement right after Angela Bassett here, so maybe that's a sign. Maybe I should be picking Angela Bassett. So this category has been really up in the air for most of the season, and now as we're getting into the late season, it looks like Angela Bassett is kind of pulling through as the new front runner. We didn't really have a front runner. I mean, Carrie Condon was kind of like the quasi front runner just because she is wonderful in that movie. She might be my favorite performance in Banshees. That's what I would pick, honestly, out of all of these. I don't know. It's between that and Janelle Monáe. I like Janelle's performance in Glass Onion. But now Angela Bassett, she won the Golden Globe Very impressive for a performance that's probably less than 10 minutes of screen time. She has a very powerful presence in that movie and in real life too. She's a very powerful woman in the Hollywood industry, I think. And she has a narrative brewing for her, especially with in honor of Chadwick Boseman and everything. So she might be the new frontrunner. I mean, she got nominated. She won the Globe. She was nominated here. She was nominated for a SAG. It's just going her way. It's just going to be going her way. And, Carrie Condon might pull through with an upset here. She's really the only other one that I think would be winning at Critics' Choice here. Oh, she's destroying the competition with precursor wins. Angela Bassett only has 3, including the Golden Globe. So, I don't know, man. It could still go to Carrie Condon, but as far as like the narrative that's brewing, critics groups are early and mid-season things, and sometimes they just don't line up with what these guilds and what these late awards bodies are going to give. I don't know where that sentence was going, but I don't know. I think it might be Angela Bassett. We're going to go ahead and pick Angela Bassett. She's the new front runner. She's just the new front runner. There's a great narrative for her. Carrie Condon could pull through with an upset, but again, it's got to be Angela Bassett in my eyes. So, moving on from there is supporting actor, 110% Ki Hee Kwan. Any questions? He has been absolutely sweeping every freaking award that he's nominated for. I think Brendan Gleeson has maybe two, and then no one else has been getting anything. It has to be Ki Hee Kwan. Has to be Ki Hee Kwan. No ifs, ands, or buts. He is winning. Moving on. Best Actress. This is between, ladies and gentlemen, this is between Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh. They are fighting for this one. I think they are literally tied. I think they are like literally neck and neck when it comes to precursor wins so far. Both Cate Blanchett and Michelle Yeoh won their respective Golden Globes for drama and musical or comedy. So it's literally 50-50. It's literally 50-50 here. It is literally a 50-50 thing, a 50-50 split. I'd be kind of pleasantly surprised if it went everything anywhere else, because all of these performances are incredible and deserve honestly to win. Maybe Michelle Williams is like kind of an outside shot. She was great in The Fabelmans, but as a winner in lead, I don't know I see that. I don't know if I see that in comparison to all these other fantastic performances. Again, man, if Michelle was in supporting actress, she'd be winning everything, but they decided to put her in lead. They did it to themselves. No need to beat that dead horse anymore. So with that said, it's between Blanchett and Yeoh. It's between Blanchett and Yeoh. I think a lot of people were saying Michelle Yeoh here, and the narrative for Michelle Yeoh I think is stronger. Again, I've been playing it safe this whole time, and I am actually going to go with my personal pick here, which would be Blanchett. It would be Blanchett. She is probably, her performance is probably my favorite of the year out of anybody. So she would be my personal pick, and just because this is a 50-50 split, I'm going to go with Blanchett. She might upset here. If it goes to Michelle Yeoh, I'd be very happy for her. I think she's wonderful in that movie, and she's been getting a lot of love, and her narrative is great. It's a wonderful narrative. It's literally a performance for her. This is her career-defining performance. Up until now, this is the performance that defines her career, basically. So if it goes to her, wonderful. Wonderful. But my personal pick would be Blanchett. She is incredible in Tar. It's one of her best performances. She's one of the greatest living actresses right now. So I'm gonna go with Blanchett. Moving on from there is Best Actor. This is a little bit up in the air. My heart is telling me Colin Farrell because he's been winning the most precursors, from what I understand. Austin Butler has been getting a lot of love lately. He just won the Globe over Brendan Fraser. I don't know if Fraser is going to win here. If he does, I would be very tickled. I would be very, very surprised and pleased, because I think he better start winning these awards, man. Because the narrative for him is the best out of any of these actors. I mean, his narrative is just incredible. And on top of giving an amazing performance in The Whale, he deserves every award that he's been getting nominated for, but he just hasn't been winning as much as Colin Farrell. And Austin Butler is that's his those two guys, Butler and Farrell, those are his main competition. So as much as I want Fraser to win here, I don't think it's going to happen. If any shot that he has for winning, it would honestly be SAG. If he loses SAG, that's going to be tough. That's going to be really tough. And as far as BAFTA is concerned, I mean, BAFTA, I don't really see BAFTA giving it to anybody other than Colin Farrell. So if Fraser loses Critics' Choice and BAFTA, and he's going to have to win SAG in order for him to have any shot at winning the Oscar. So this is tough. This is kind of tough. It's between those three. A lot of critics circles have been really loving Farrell. He's the front runner for precursor winners. I'm gonna have to go with Colin Farrell. I'm gonna have to predict he takes this one. Butler and Fraser are possible upsets. Honestly, I think Fraser is more likely to upset. He might be the second in line to take this over Colin Farrell. Austin Butler is more of like, as far as a critic's, kind of favored performance, it's not as favored as Farrell or Fraser from what it looks like. So really, I think it's between Fraser and Farrell. Fraser might upset. I would be very happy if that happened. But I do really love Colin Farrell in Banshees as well. And he's just the most likely winner here. So anyway, I'm picking Farrell. I'm picking Farrell here. Finally, Best Picture. So Avatar: The Way of Water, no. Babylon, no. Banshees, maybe. Elvis, no. Fabelmans, no. Glass Onion, RRR, Tar, Top Gun: Maverick, Women Talking, no. Fabelmans did win Golden Globe, but I don't think that'll pull through here. I'd be very surprised if it did. So it's really between Everything Everywhere and Banshees, but since Everything Everywhere has just been performing so well everywhere, especially with critics, I'm going to go ahead and predict Everything Everywhere. Banshees could very well upset. That is very likely. That is very, very likely that would happen. But my heart is telling me that Everything Everywhere will win here. It'll win here. Banshees might be winning BAFTA, especially after their Golden Globe win. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Everything Everywhere here. It's really kind of sort of 50-50 between that and Banshees. So, some people are picking one or the other, but for one, I'm picking Everything Everywhere. My personal pick would be Banshees. That's just me. But the critics, I think, are really going to be giving a lot of love for this movie. So that's that. Those are my Critics' Choice predictions. I know that was pretty long-winded, but yeah, we'll see what happens tomorrow night. I'm very excited. This is kind of 2 out of the 5 big boys. We just had Golden Globes last weekend, and now we have Critics' Choice. And then number 3 will be SAG, number 4 will be BAFTA, and then, of course, number 5 will finally be Oscar night, baby. So, looking forward to the ceremony. It's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, it's going to be a great time. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and comment and subscribe to my channel if you like what I do. I will see y'all next time. Have a good one. And Oscar Guy is